Big news from Carnival Cruise Line today as they make it easier than ever to test for COVID-19 for your upcoming cruise. You can now test at the doctor's office. You can test at a drive-through center. You can test at a pharmacy. And breaking today, you can even test at home under certain conditions. We have that, plus Florida has already said we are appealing in the Norwegian Cruise Line Holdings decision. Let's talk about all of it right now on Island Time. A big hello to all you Islanders. I hope you're having a great day. This is Derek, your host of Island Time, and I'm so glad that you and I get to spend some time today in the islands talking about cruising. And yes, we're talking about protocols. Yes, we're talking about testing, but we're talking about that because you and I still get to cruise, and I'm confident that we still will get to cruise throughout the fall and winter of 2021 because of protocols like this. Let's get started. Great news today for everyone cruising from now until Halloween, October the 31st. That's when the mask and testing protocol is set to stay in place. But Carnival, with their big announcement late yesterday, has made it easier than ever to obtain a test. Let's get right into this. You can see this right here. You may have seen this on Carnival's website. It is pretty in-depth. It's above my head, I will admit, as far as terminology goes for medical realm. But I understand some of it, and I know that I can break this down into what it means for your cruise. So let's get started. You already know this. Guests must be tested with a SARS-CoV-2 COVID-19 viral test that could be either an antigen test or a NAT test. You know that. Here are the different types of tests. You probably recognize the first two. A rapid antigen test, you probably recognize with the rapid turnaround time, sometimes within a day. Right now it's up to 3 days in a lot of locations in the country. I know people get scared sometimes. When you take your rapid test, you want the results to come in time. Of course, they have to be 3 days. 3 days before your embarkation date, that's your testing window. This rapid test is available. The viral antigen test is also available. And you can see past that, there are other tests as well. Now, the NAT test, I'm going to tell you why this NAT test, the PCR test, is important for all of us Islanders. Let me tell you why. You can get a free NAT test at several locations around the country. And that is because of the Families First Coronavirus Response Act. The Families First Coronavirus Response Act created free testing for Americans at certain locations across the country. Two partners of this act that allowed for free testing from the government is CVS and Walgreens. CVS rolled this out very quickly, and CVS says that at every location in the country you can get a free test. Walgreens was quickly behind. They moved in regions of the country, but it looks like now that Walgreens across the country, you can get a free COVID-19 test. And there are some advantages of getting that test because they keep some of those records electronically in case you ever lose your records. But let's get back to the different testing. Now, big news for a testing with Carnival Cruise Line, and something that they've changed just last week when they implemented the new testing protocol. They said you could not test at home. I guess enough people kind of raised the red flag and said, I want to test at home. I have the ability to test at home. And Carnival is now going to allow for self-testing at home under these circumstances. Look at this very, very close. You may take, the test must be a SARS-CoV-2 viral test, okay, which is a test that you're probably going to get if you go to a drive-through, a doctor, or a pharmacy. You're going to get this SARS-CoV-2 viral test anyway. But look at these conditions. Bullet points 2 and 3 are so important if you want to test at home. The testing procedure must include a telehealth service affiliated with the manufacturer of the test that provides real-time supervision remotely, and that is through audio and video connection. So this test at home will be observed by a medical professional, both with video and audio. You can't go buy the Abbott self-test at home, take it yourself. This is more like an appointment that you make with your primary care physician through telemed. Audio and video can be through your phone or computer, and they help administer the test because they can see you. Some FDA authorized self-tests include a telehealth service that may require a prescription that you'll have to get from your PCP. Bullet point number 3, the telehealth provider must confirm the person's identity. Of course, you can do that through several means. Observe the specimen collection and testing procedures. Confirm the test result. You want it to be negative or not detected, of course. And issue a report that meets the requirements of acceptable proof of a negative COVID-19 test. There are some requirements with this at-home test, but those of you who are busy, you work from home, maybe you have kids, this is something that you can do, and hopefully your test results will come back quick as well. Now, what kind of proof of testing will Carnival accept? Of course, the laboratory test record, a record that you keep, a physical record that you keep on you, that you can literally hand from yourself to someone at the terminal. A digital certificate, which is always nice because it's not just a piece of paper that you can lose, it's something that is digital that you can log on and access. And a healthcare record as well. Okay, so here's what you have to have on your test, and it's important to have this information just like in your COVID vaccine card. This is pertinent information that if you don't have, they will challenge your boarding at the terminal. I've seen it with my own eyes. You have to have your first and last name as it's spelt on your passport or birth certificate. If your name is Christopher on your birth certificate or your passport, make sure that this test says Christopher. Even though many people know the short of Christopher is Chris, and you go by Chris. Make sure it matches just to make everything fluid and make things match at the terminal. Your date of birth clearly written, month, day, and year, okay? Date and time that the sample was taken. Remember, you have 3 days before embarkation day. Make sure you're within that window. You have to have a test result that's stated as negative, a negative test result, or it can say not detected. You have to have one of those two phrases on your test result. And finally, the laboratory or testing site and or healthcare provider details if you're getting that test locally. That is the new testing protocol that Carnival Cruise Line has put out. It's on carnival.com right now. You can click at the top of the page, have fun, be safe protocols, and they are there. Carnival really is making it easier than ever to accept tests from a variety of different ways. They're making it easy for you and I, and that is much appreciated, especially when we're looking at vacation here. We don't want to stress out about this test. We want the test to come back within the 72 hours. Carnival is allowing us more ways than ever to do that, and we are very appreciative. I can speak on behalf of all Islanders. Now, let's get into other news. We talked about yesterday, Norwegian Cruise Line Holdings, they had a big win. They would say it's a big win anyway. We knew it was going to be contested, and we can officially say today that the state of Florida will appeal the ruling from a federal judge that allows Norwegian Cruise Line Holdings to require proof of COVID. Remember, Norwegian wants to cruise at 100% vaccinated. Selling at 100% vaccinated allows them to go to certain ports that you're not allowed to go to if you're not 100% vaccinated. Okay? Here's a statement by Governor DeSantis' office regarding this appeal and their thoughts on this decision. We disagree with the judge's legal reasoning and will be appealing to the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals. Prohibition on vaccine passports does not even implicate, let alone violate, anyone's speech rights, and it furthers the substantial local interest of preventing discrimination among customers based on private health information. That again is from Governor Ron DeSantis' office. This case is being appealed to the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals. Why does that ring a bell? The 11th Circuit Court, they're busy right now. They are busy with cruise news because this is the same body, the same court. It's a panel of 3 judges that is hearing Florida's case against the CDC, where Florida has challenged the power and legitimacy that the CDC has to basically govern with the conditional sale order. We saw the 11th Circuit issue a stay for the CDC a couple of weeks ago that the CSO, conditional sale order, could remain in place. And then just a couple of days later, as I was getting on the Carnival Vista, they rescinded the stay. And now you're going to have this case, Norwegian Cruise Line Holdings wanting to say, we can ask for your passport, vaccine passport information. We want to cruise at 100%. Florida says, no way. That's not going to happen. So now the 11th Circuit will hold both of these cases, and we will see how they act. We've already kind of heard that the Florida versus CDC case will not even present itself in front of the judges until September. Could the 11th Circuit kind of combine these cases? Now, they will be separate cases, of course, because there's separate parties involved. But may they issue a decision on both cases at the same time? We will see. They might just get the briefs and make a decision. They could hear oral arguments, or they don't have to pick up the case. The 11th Circuit does not have to pick it up if they want to, much like the Supreme Court of the United States does not pick up every case that is in the docket. We will see what happens. It's going to be interesting to see because the 11th Circuit has already made some decisions in cases, even though it's to stay or to not to stay. That's a big question, right? They've already made decisions. It's sided with the state right now. We will see, again, if this 11th Circuit sides with the state of Florida in this case versus Norwegian Cruise Line Holdings, or does it side with Norwegian? We will see. We thank you so much for the time today on the island. It's great to be here. It's great to interact with you. Leave your comments. What do you think about the Florida case? Do you think that Norwegian Cruise Line and other cruise lines should be able to ask for vaccine cards in order for you to cruise, or should it be a choice? What do you think? Plus, testing. Let us know how your testing is going as you're getting ready for your cruise. We hope everything's going according to plan. We hope there's a testing site close to you. You get your test quick and you go on your cruise. We will talk to you tomorrow right here on Island Time.